For female prisoners are sent to a deserted island where only men live, and all of them are dangerous criminals. How will these 4 women survive and keep all those men satisfied? Let's find out. The movie opens with Karen's welcome party. As punishment, she has been sent to this island, where around 40 violent criminals already live. Karen arrives by boat, her handcuffs are removed, and the police officer leaves her behind after warning her that she'll have to live among dangerous offenders. At first, Karen doesn't take it seriously, but as soon as she steps off the boat, she notices dead bodies floating near the shore. That's when she begins to realize just how dangerous this place really is. Exhausted, she sits on the beach and suddenly notices a man staring at her from behind the rocks. As he approaches, she panics and grabs a vase-like object from the ground to defend herself. But the man calmly tells her there's no need to be afraid. He introduces himself as Dr. Milford. He says he always comes to welcome new prisoners. The doctor explains that the rest of the prisoners live in a camp and only about 40 people remain now, though there used to be 75 when he first arrived. Over time, the number has dropped due to constant violence and killings. Curious, Karen asks how many women are on the island. The doctor replies, "Very few. I wish there were more." Karen smiles, understanding what he means. She then asks about the dead bodies on the shore. The doctor sarcastically says, "Everyone here is a killer. They just keep killing each other. I'm the only one who hasn't killed anyone. Coming here itself is a crime." Karen doesn't believe him. The next morning, Karen fearlessly walks into the camp. There, she finds only men and just 3 other women. Everyone in the camp wears the same clothes and is busy doing assigned work. As Karen walks through, every man stares at her. At that moment, the camp leader Bobby arrives with his assistant Monk. Seeing Karen, Bobby tells Monk to handle her. Monk approaches Karen. She offers a friendly handshake, but Monk arrogantly tries to assert dominance by touching her inappropriately. Karen pushes his hand away and resists. Enraged, Monk throws her to the ground to humiliate her in front of everyone and tells her she must obey whatever they say. Karen screams for help, but no one steps in. The rule here is simple: mind your own business. And this is where the real nightmare of the island begins. By evening, the women quietly return to their hut, exhausted after a long day. But when they enter, they find Karen casually sleeping on their mattress. They wake her up. Shocked, Karen asks why they're treating her this way. The women explain that they are kept together in one place so that men always have access to them, because there are no other women on the island. When Karen tries to leave, she's stopped. The women tell her that they are considered the most valuable property here, so they're not allowed any freedom. Hearing this, Karen's rebellious side awakens. She realizes the system is corrupt and it needs to change. She asks who is responsible. The women tell her that Bunny manages the women. Furious, Karen confronts Bunny, grabs her by the hair, and threatens her. "If you mess with me again, I'll kill you, just like I killed someone in prison." The other women begin to think Karen might be dangerous enough to challenge the system. But the next morning, Karen is sent to the fields along with the others. Their job? To plow the land like animals, doing hard labor by hand. After a long day, Karen asks if anyone has ever stood up against Bobby and his gang. She learns that some tried to escape, but there's no guarantee they were any better than Bobby. In the meantime, Joy asks for water, but the head of the workers throws water on her instead. Unable to tackle the humiliation, she runs off. Another prisoner offers her his water, but seeing this, the head worker gets furious and attacks him. The second man doesn't back down either. He pulls out a knife. A fight is about to break out when Bobby arrives and steps in. He tries to calm them down. Even though both men still hate each other, Bobby's presence scares them enough to stop. The next day, the women are assigned to build a new storage house. Kneading mud, lifting heavy stones, it's extremely difficult work. While working, Carmen injures her hand. A nearby woman calls the doctor to help her. The doctor comes over to treat Carmen and tries to bandage her hand, but a guard drives him away. Humanity isn't allowed here. Carmen quietly goes back to work. By evening, the exhausted women start cleaning up, hoping to rest. But suddenly, Monk barges in and orders them to report for a night shift. Everyone except Bunny because she is reserved only for Bobby. The system on the island is simple. Make the women work in the fields during the day and use them for personal service at night. This disgusts Carmen, but Bunny willingly goes to Bobby's room. Inside, Bobby tells her to turn around and asks how she's doing. Bunny stays silent. He tries to get her to respond, to express what she wants, but she says nothing and spends the entire night there in silence. The next morning, everyone lines up for food. The women serve meals one by one. Bunny serves Bobby, and he tells her to eat, but she's clearly upset. Meanwhile, other prisoners in line start teasing the women, and soon another fight breaks out. Monk moves to stop it, but Bobby holds him back. Within moments, the fight turns deadly. One man is accidentally killed. The others simply pick up his body and throw it into the the sea. That's the island's version of a funeral. Later, the women, along with some prisoners who act as Bobby's guards, go to a creek to wash clothes. Carmen is with them. She asks about the fight from the previous day, but Bunny doesn't want to talk about it. Suddenly, they are attacked. A group of escaped prisoners ambushes them. These are the same men who once stood against Bobby. Their leader is Agent Thomas, and with him is Cornell. They kill Bobby's guards and take the women with them. Their plan is simple: bring the women into their group and live more comfortably. When Bobby finds out, he's furious. He orders his men, find them, and crush them all. Meanwhile, in the new camp, the escaped prisoners sit around a fire, cooking food and joking about Bobby's anger. For the first time, different kind of dynamic begins to form. A man named Taylor approaches Lee and expresses his desire for her. She doesn't like it at all. She insults him and walks away. Poor Taylor returns to his group and starts eating. After some time, Lee comes back, but instead of going to Taylor, she sits with another man. They joke around and laugh. Watching this, Taylor grows angry, but stays quiet. Late at night, when everyone is asleep, Taylor returns. He forcefully pulls the other man away from Lee. But Lee has a different mindset. She wants Taylor to leave. She starts shouting for help. The others wake up and intervene, telling Taylor clearly, there's no force here. The system has changed. Taylor backs off, but it's obvious his mind hasn't. The next morning, everyone prepares to move forward. Carmen wants to know where they're going. To get answers, she even attacks one of the prisoners and demands to speak to the leader. The leader explains that they are trying to escape the island. He says they brought the women along because they believe they deserve better. He also lays out the plan. They will move ahead in pairs, scouting the path before the whole group advances. After a while, everyone splits up and heads in different directions. Carmen is paired with one of the prisoners. As they walk, they start talking about their pasts. The conversation gets unexpectedly intimate, and within moments, the two end up kissing. Meanwhile, Bobby asks Monk about the missing women. Monk says he's searched everywhere, but there's no sign of them. Cut to another scene. Lee is bathing in a lake. Water drips off her body in slow motion. Taylor happens to pass by and is completely stunned when he sees her. After a moment, Lee steps out of the water and starts playfully trying to charm him. Taylor is still angry, but Lee pretends to apologize, softening him up. He stays quiet. Then she gently leads him to a spot, the same place where she had rejected him the day before. This time, the mood is different. As rain begins to fall, it looks like the two are about to share a romantic moment. But Lee has a plan. She secretly spreads honey on Taylor's clothes. Taylor thinks he's in for a sweet, romantic experience, like a honeymoon. But the honey isn't for her. It's to attract bees. Within moments, a swarm of bees attacks. Taylor panics, trying to protect himself, and jumps straight into the water to escape. Poor guy expected romance, but got a full-on sting operation instead. Instead of a honeymoon, it turned into a bee procession. The next morning, the group moves camp again. They have to change locations every day. The women are exhausted. Are they destined to keep running forever? Near a lake, Lee discovers saltpeter. An idea sparks in her mind. If mixed with charcoal, it can create black powder, and from that, grenades. She shares the idea with Thomas. Back at Bobby's camp, he orders his men to search every inch of the island and find the fugitives. But the next morning, things flip. The fugitives launch an attack on Bobby's men. A brutal fight breaks out, and bodies fall on both sides. Cornell decides to stay back and hold off Monk so the others can escape. The rest flee while Cornell and Monk engage in a fierce fight. Cornell eventually gains the upper hand. Monk is defeated, and Cornell escapes. Later, when the group regroups at another location, they realize one of their men is badly injured. Saving him becomes urgent. Thomas decides to go back to Bobby's camp to bring the doctor. His people try to stop him. It's too risky, but he can't ignore the situation. He leaves to get help. Back at camp, some people take care of the injured man. Meanwhile, Carmen goes to rest, and her partner follows her. The two begin to get intimate. On the other side, Thomas meets the doctor and tells him everything. The doctor agrees and comes with him, but sadly, by the time they return, it's too late. The injured man dies. The next day, everyone realizes the truth. They can't survive like this, constantly running. If they want to live, they must take down Bobby and his gang. Lee starts making grenades. Carmen prepares poison. They bury the dead man. The doctor also decides to stay with this new group. Meanwhile, at Bobby's camp, one of his men manages to build a small radio. Bobby tunes into the right frequency and catches a signal. At the same time, Lee and her group grind ingredients to make gunpowder. Soon, real grenades are ready, just like the fuse and throw. Meanwhile, Bunny wanders off near a waterfall. When her group realizes she's missing, they go looking for her. But before they can reach her, Bobby's men find her first and capture her. her. Back at his camp, Bobby listens on the radio and learns something important. A police supply boat will arrive the next morning. Bunny is tied to a pole near the seashore. Bobby is furious. Her friends are nearby, secretly trying to move in and help, but they quickly realize that in an open fight, they wouldn't stand a chance against Bobby's gang. Suddenly, Bobby spots the police boat approaching. He immediately orders his men to hide behind the rocks. As the boat comes closer to the island, the officers notice Bunny tied up. They step out to untie her, but before they can react, one of Bobby's men shoots an officer right on the boat. He grabs the officer's gun and kills the other two officers standing on the beach. Bobby's gang seizes all the weapons and gas canisters from the police. He leaves one man behind to guard the boat and returns to camp with the rest. On the other side, Thomas tells his group, "If we take out the guard, the boat and weapons are ours." One of his men quietly enters the water and slowly approaches the boat. He hides near the edge, then suddenly attacks the guard, kills him, and takes his gun. Thomas announces proudly, "Now we have the boat, guns, and gas canisters. We can finally fight Bobby." At that moment, Bunny returns to Thomas's group, but she's in terrible condition. The doctor rushes to her and hugs her. When Bobby learns that their supplies have been stolen and the guard has been killed, he explodes with anger at Monk, blaming him for everything. That night, as they sit around the fire, the doctor shares his past. He explains how he was falsely accused of disconnecting a patient from a ventilator. "I don't want to go back to that world," he says. "A world that betrayed me." The next morning, the group makes a final decision. Bobby must be taken down. They prepare a full action plan. Everyone moves into position. A woman prepares a large gasoline canister. The plan is to send fuel through pipes into the warehouse and set it on fire at the right moment. Thomas and his group begin executing their plan. First, they blow up the camp's toilet area, killing one man instantly. Chaos spreads throughout the camp. No one understands what's happening. Bobby and Monk start firing their weapons. In the shootout, Cornell is killed. Bobby takes position inside the warehouse and continues firing. At that moment, Lee grabs a grenade and runs toward the bunker. A massive explosion follows, but Bobby survives and shoots Lee from behind, killing her. Monk is also injured but drags himself toward Bobby's bunker and demands to be let in. Once inside, he's furious. Bobby is wasting too many bullets. Meanwhile, Joy signals Bunny, but Bunny is in shock. She can't remember what she was supposed to do. Instead, she runs toward the Guile prisoners and gets shot herself. The doctor rushes to her, carries her to safety, then runs toward the pipes. He releases the gasoline and sets it on fire. By the time Bobby realizes the smell of gasoline, it's already too late. A massive explosion destroys the bunker. Bobby emerges, burning and barely alive. Soon, silence falls over the camp. The violence ends. People begin living together peacefully. But then, one last twist. Monk is still alive. However, he has lost his eyesight in the explosion. He's now completely blind. As peace returns, the huts are rebuilt. People start farming and working together. Even the blind Monk now helps the group, carrying water and contributing however he can. The doctor and Bunny walk along the seashore. Suddenly, another police boat arrives. An officer calls out, "Call Dr. Milford. He's needed back on the mainland for a new trial." But the doctor calmly replies, "Milford is dead. I'm not going back. This island is my home now." Just then, a new female prisoner steps off the boat onto the island. The doctor walks up to her, just like before, and welcomes her, as if the cycle is starting all over again. And that's where the story ends.